your Cardinals are 9 games out again. They have not made much progress at all. The whole 14 games under 500. Remember, I was talking about this.
Yep.
I said, you're 14 games under 500, and you go off for a while, but then since you came back and you started losing all these games again, you're still 14, like 6 weeks later, you're still 14 games under 500. And they're 14 games under 500 right now. So that's why, listen, we talked about it with Ben Clemens. Is there an avenue? Is there a path to winning the division? There is, but that starts with you winning games, and they don't. Because if the defense ain't screwing up, it's the starting pitching. If the base running's terrible, or if the base running is good every now and then, well, then you don't hit with runners in scoring position. Your starting pitching's good, the hitters don't score runs, or the bullpen blows up. It's just, you can't do it. It's whack-a-mole stuff. There's no consistency. I'm sorry. There's no consistency.
To your point, I'm at the point, Bernie, now where one, it's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
This is twice now you're at this stage. You just don't have that many answers to keep coming back and fight through the mountain that you had to climb again. Teams don't do that. And the other thing I'm really just starting to just accept, they're bad. I hate to just flat out, they are bad. And everything
they're worse than they should be.
Yeah, everything, you look at players and you see, well, there's potential there. This guy should be better. That outfield, the Carlsons and all that should be better. I go, you know what? They're just not that good.
And we gotta come to grips with that. I think I have, but I also just think, look, man, this team really is. They really have more talent than this record would indicate. I agree with Joe Sheehan, but there's something wrong in the mix. There's something wrong in the approach to base running and situational hitting. The president of baseball operations just continues to think he knows more about starting pitching than anyone in the universe. And he also continues to show a really kind of frightening inability to evaluate relievers. So from that standpoint, anything that's happened with the pitching should not surprise anyone. And they are not better than their record would indicate. You look at their pitching, you look at their bullpen, they're exactly where they should be, which means they're bad. So first of all, it's really, really hard to rise above that when you have a bad rotation and you have a bad bullpen. And the Cardinals starting rotations, 23rd, 24th in the majors in ERA. The relievers have blown as many saves as saves earned,
Yep.
The Cardinals have, we mentioned this the other day, the Cardinals have blown 24 leads this season, which was the most of any team in the National League. And their comeback wins are few and far between. So the starting pitching has a lot, and the bullpen mishaps have a lot to do with this, but your offense cannot live and they cannot win regularly unless they're hitting way more home runs in a game than really is reasonable to ask them to. If your only way to go 13-3 is to hit 3 home runs or more in a game, and that's what they are, 13-3. And then in every other home run category, you have a losing record. No home runs, losing record. 1 home run, losing record. 2 home runs, losing record. So to make up for this bad defense, the lazy base running, bad bullpen, at best mediocre starting rotation, you're asking an offense that's got its own issues. You're asking that offense to crank out 3 home runs for you each game. It just ain't going to happen. No, it's just not going to happen.
And the other thing about pitching, which you brought up, and I know I'm probably going to forget someone, but for the most part, when I look and I'm trying to evaluate what Dusty Blake is or who he is, there's one guy that I go, well, I think he definitely fixed this guy, and that was Jordan Hicks. And it was as simple as apparently just moving him to the first base side of the rubber. Everybody else, like Miles Michaelis, he is what he is. He's not. He had some stretches where he's really bad. He's been decent lately. He hasn't really fixed or done anything great with Flaherty. He's just Jack Flaherty trying to work his way back from all his ailments and things. He's not going to do anything to help Adam Wainwright. He can't. He has done nothing to help a Steven Matz. I mean, I don't know what the deal is there. There's nobody here where I go, oh, he's helped this guy out and he's helped fix anything, or he's given somebody something with a little glimmer of here's what you need to do to help fix it.
There's none of that.
Yeah, and that I think that is, as the season goes on, we're going to find out that this may have turned out to be a bad idea because there's nothing there.
Ollie's pretty good. See. That's why I talk about Mo and Ollie as one, because that's it. Ollie is his guy.
Right.
You know what they're both really good at?
What's that?
No. It's not my fault. It's his fault. So look at how many coaches in less than 2 full seasons have said, I got to spend more time with my family. I just think I need a fresh start somewhere. This. Matt Holliday is supposedly one of his best friends. I can't. No, I can't take that job. I have to reconsider. Ollie runs through a lot of coaches, doesn't he?
He does.
You know why that is? Because that's Ollie's way of hey. These coaches just need to do a better job. So they're really good at trying to deflect responsibility. And what an embarrassing standard, low standard there is for the Cardinals. The accountability is it's a disgrace, the lack of it.
I think what we will be telling when the season is over, if Willie McGee just says, I'm done. Because he's like the last guy that's been around a while where you go, well, he's seen enough different kinds of baseball through this organization.
Yeah.
But if he just says, I'm kind of done, it may be even more of a telltale sign of what's going on now.
I told you this maybe last week. It's like I look in that dugout during games and stuff, and I'm like, well, who the hell are like half these people?
Right.
And like I said last week, but you got to repeat yourself talking about this team because they repeat themselves with their with their total inconsistency and their chronic ways of losing. You got to repeat yourself, but it's just like, I'm being redundant, but it's like, nobody really steps up and says, my fault, that's on me. It's all deflect, and it's to the point where you got some sheepdogs in this town that'll actually tell you that, you can't blame the manager for this, you can't blame him for that, you can't blame him for this, he's not responsible for that. Well, what the hell is he responsible for? What are the coaches responsible for?
Amen.
I mean, this is just, I know that media people can, because I was one, you can get under a spell because the guy's good to you and he gives you good quotes or he tells you things off the record. I get it. But you don't take it to the extreme, by basically absolving a manager of all responsibility. Same with his coaching team. Do you think that the people that follow your work are idiots? I mean, do you really think that poorly of them that you would try to peddle this BS? Right?
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Oh, man.
So, text real quick here. Bernie, you always say that Bill DeWitt Jr. is very upset about empty seats. What would it take for him to get rid of Mo, Ollie, and the whole coaching staff?
I could be very wrong here. I don't see any of that happening because it would have to be drastic. The drastic combination, I mean really drastic, would be 90-plus losses. And you're playing late August, September baseball games at Busch Stadium where only half the people that bought tickets show up. It'd have to be really catastrophic. And even then, I'm not sure.
They're working towards 90 losses, though, right now.
You couldn't even sell out, even when you won your first postseason series since 2014, when you did that in 2019. Many empty seats, many unsold tickets. The Brave Series and the LDS and the NLCS, where, listen, we know that in the aftermath, the Nationals were a much better team, and they were just on a roll, and they had really outstanding starting pitching. So they swept that series. That doesn't excuse the Cardinals so feeble offensively, but they swept it. It was pretty embarrassing, but still. Going into that series, like you're looking at first, games 1 and 2, all kinds of seats available at Busch Stadium. So it's been there. It's been there, but only in isolated cases. So people love to go to the ballpark, and I've told you before, I don't criticize people who enjoy a night or an afternoon at the ballpark. It's part of a culture in St. Louis. It's a baseball culture. People want the team to win. They'll get ticked off if they don't. But they also like to have fun, and they can have a lot of fun at the ballpark just by, sampling different foods, seeing their friends, hanging out with buddies, or, it just their kids are, running around all happy. They love being there. So I'm not into the whole thing like trying to shame people into staying away. Because I realize it's become more and more of a social experience, and that's okay. It's supposed to be entertainment. But, yeah, what I don't like is the Cardinals increasingly seem to take advantage of that. They see the crowds that are great, and they've been great, and the second best team in the majors for a long time in terms of home attendance, the Dodgers. And they always misread things, just like they overrate their own talent and their own prospects, except for Jordan Walker. The Cardinals see the packed house, and they're like, see, they love us. They think we're doing great. No, they just like coming to the ballpark to eat ballpark hot dogs and nachos and try out this food or that food.
There's still a large faction of people who will plan their summer weekend to come up here to St. Louis to watch a couple baseball games. That is a huge part of what happens once you turn to Memorial Day until you get to Labor Day. It's just fact.
Right.
And it'll always be that way. So from that standpoint, to try and get the empty seats, it's not going to happen as much as you think during the summer, especially on those weekends, man.
Hey, before we're going to be unwinding here at Friendly Sports Bar and Grill, just a reminder again, you always come here to watch sports, look at all the TV sets. We're looking at them now, and beautiful pictures, any sport, any team, any league. It's there for you. You got the NBA draft tomorrow night. I don't know how much interest it is in that, but, you got the NHL draft a week from, when's that start? A week from Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
And a lot of baseball doesn't have to be Cardinals. I mean, there's just all kinds of things going on, so I want to remind you of that. And if the Cardinals score 6 runs or more, Stand the Man special kicks in. You get a free round on the house. And don't forget about the Redbird shot when they hit a home run. It's a free shot of cherry vodka and splash of soda. So there's all kinds of things here. And we told you about the new specials they have. Teaming up with Friendlies teaming up with Kendrick's. Tuesdays, a 6-beer bucket and a Kendrick's beef brisket sandwich for $15.50. Thursdays, a six beer bucket with a 9-inch Kendrick's pizza was very, very good, and the brisket's great too, only $15.50. So we always like to keep you aware of this. I also, before we shut it down, I cannot forget my new friends at Pasiglia Landscape, Nursery, and Garden Center. They do a wonderful job. They have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. You can tell that everyone that works there is very avid about gardening and making gardens more beautiful and just seeking perfection. You can see that just the way they treat their customers, the way they give advice. They want to give advice. They want to help you. They want to recommend things. They can help you to solve a problem that you're having, getting something to grow or, whatever, flourish, whatever it is. And they have been doing this in our area since 1950. This family-owned business since 1950, and they've been serving the last 30 years in St. Louis with its landscape design services, which are gorgeous. And go to Pasiglia.com to see examples of their work. In fact, go to Pasiglia.com for anything, because it's a really lovely site, and you'll see all that there is that Pasiglia can offer to make you very happy. If you go to their site, they also have To the Root, which is an entertaining, informative podcast, very popular. You can hear garden tips and advice you need, along with stories of garden center life. I mean, it's all there. If you go to the site, you'll just see why you should be. You get all geared up, because once you see everything they have and all that they can do for you, and ways that they can make your gardening endeavors easier and more beautiful, this is a must stop. This is a must visit if you are into gardening. I can't even imagine why you wouldn't want to go there, and you have to go there because they're simply great. You can find them at 1855 Highway 109 in Wildwood, or online at Pasiglia.com. And we appreciate their support, and I love supporting them. If you have a subscription to The Athletic, before we say goodbye, if you had a subscription to The Athletic, I want you to read something that had Jim Heuer and I giggling before the show. Serial typist.
Yes.
Jim Bowden. He's got a list of the 100 MLB players that teams will be targeting at the trade deadline.
100.
100. He's got half the Cardinals team there. So it just, and by the way, he's got Jack Flaherty like ranked in the top 7 or 8 among starting pitchers. It might be available.
Wow. Go
Jimmy,
check it out.
Jimmy, I love you, but if you watch games, not you, Jim Bowden.
Right.
He's got Brendan Donovan. He's got Tommy Edman. I mean, it's all over the lot.
It's fun. Go take a look at it.
It is. We listen. I love that he does what he does. He's an endless source of content.
Oh, no doubt.
And he works hard. He loves what he does. I mean, but it is funny though how he just goes nuts sometimes. And I don't know.
Oh, all good.